exchange means that we have to learn to do things differently. And that means especially to learn a different museum, to communicate a different museum, to learn what it is, a different museum. And I was speaking today about the fact that the museum is confronted with three main issues. The museum today is a space where anything goes. We are like a big vacuum cleaner, we are like a big sponge soaking up not only all these different disciplines, but also these different audiences. And everybody has a different agenda. And when I'm speaking about different disciplines, the museum is soaking up painting, sculpture, photography, film, video, of course, we know that. But also social issues and also political issues and even forms of protest and even refugees. And then the second thing is, besides anything, the museum is confronted with an issue, which is why do we need to get bigger and bigger and bigger? And I think one of the main tests for the boards of museums of the future, or commissioners or political governing bodies, is to ask, expanding the museum, does it mean a physical expansion? Or could it mean another form of expanding? Could it, for instance, mean to make your social organization differently? And another issue is going to be in times where there is less and less money. Maybe we have to learn to make museums in the far future, to make them smaller. Then the third issue, besides anything, besides bigger, is of course the whole idea of ownership. Of course, I understand that, a museum collection is all about moral and all about intellectual ownership. But can we continue material ownership? Can we continue to keep saying, I want to have this for me, for my collection? In times of circulation, free circulation of goods and people, which of course get restricted thanks to Brexit, we still create barriers around museum collections, saying, this is mine. I own this. So how to communicate this museum, which is challenged by anything goes, which is challenged by the word bigger, why always bigger, which is challenged by this whole idea of material ownership. I don't know. Maybe we have to learn to communicate about things we don't want to talk about. Voilà. When I'm saying that the museum is becoming like a sponge, soaking up different disciplines, when I'm saying that the museum gets bigger, of course we know that many performing artists think about dancers. They want to explore different temporal and different spatial configurations, different than the classical theater with the Bühne, with the stage, and there's the stage and here's the audience. They want to break down these barriers, and not just the spatial barriers of the classical theater, but also the temporal barriers. Why only dance or perform at night? Maybe we can start at 10 in the morning. And the museum is offering these kind of spaces. Now the museum is offering something else. The museum today is all about audiences. It's all about welcoming audience, but also about making audiences and inviting them to participate. And what is more inviting than to be able to dance a good dance?